Welcome back, folks, to another episode of Jamin's Daily. We're going to talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles today. And you're probably thinking, what brought this on, Jamin? Well, what brought it on was I heard that Seth Rogen is producing a new animated movie for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But then I find out that there's changes to it that I'm just not down with because, this is part of what this whole episode is about, is that I grew up with the Ninja Turtles, okay? I grew up with some of the Disney movies. And when they do live adaptations and when they do reboots and they change it, it just doesn't jive well with me. And half the time, the movie's just not even, they don't make it better. It's not better. It's not like definitively better. No one is even making that argument when it comes to these remakes and reboots and all of this stuff. I don't think everybody knows that the remake and the reboot is never as good as the original. That's just a known phenomenon. But I want to go back to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. When I was a kid growing up, I can remember going across the street to my friend Victor's house. We'd go into his bedroom. He had bunk beds, and we'd watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because it would come on like at 3:30 or 4 o'clock. They knew what they were doing. The programming was perfect timing because it was on when I was home, and we would watch it. And then I would beg my mom for all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures. I had all that. Saw all the movies when the original live action, no CGI needed. That movie, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, live action that was done, let's have a look here, like in the 90s, okay? Early 90s. Let's see, first film, 1990. See, Jim Henson made these, the costumes and stuff. And that one, the original one, it was the fourth highest grossing film in 1990. It was the highest grossing independent film at that point. It made $200 million worldwide. It was released in 1990. Okay. I turned 7. I was 6 years old for half that year and 7 years old for the rest of that year. Okay. And that movie still stands up to this day, 33 years later. You watch that movie, no CGI needed. The Ninja Turtles don't have to do these crazy things. They're just ninjas, man. They're not superhuman. They're ninjas, but they're turtles. And so in the original movies, they're real people in these turtle suits doing really cool stuff, and it looks great. You watch the Michael Bay one that they did in 2014. It's all CG. It's terrible. But you know what? As you'll see here, it made a lot of money. That's what it's all about. And you'll see in the 2000s. So in 1990s, the nostalgic, the golden age of the Ninja Turtles, which was right here, the first films, the franchise expansion, and the commercial peak. Okay, it peaked. Ever since then, it's been all downhill. That's not according to me. That's according to Wikipedia right here. It's the peak. Where do you go from the peak? You go down. Okay, so they're going down. Why are they going down? Because they sold out. They sold to Nickelodeon. They went commercial, and then it just went downhill from there. So they did a fourth live action film. What I was telling you about, 2014. And it received all kinds of negative reviews, but it was a box office success. They even did a sequel, Out of the Shadows, released in 2016. And I try the animated series. There's been several different. I'm trying to think the stylization of the animation on some of these series have all been a little different, which makes it kind of cool to watch a little, but I just can't get into it. I guess because I'm 39 years old, not a kid anymore. But at the same time, my kids, I got a 6 and 7 year old, and I tried to get them to watch it so that I would be forced to have to watch it. And I'd rather watch Bluey, to be honest. I would rather watch Bluey. But what brought me to this was Mutant Mayhem. Here it is. An animated film produced by Seth. You know, Seth Rogen, my brother-in-law, one of my best friends, Seth Kaler, his name's Seth, like this guy Seth Rogen. But there's a Mutant Mayhem animated film that's coming out in August of 2023, and that's what made me think about this to begin with. And so I was like, cool, but Seth Rogen lately, he's been ruining stuff. He's not been making things better. Okay? And then I'm thinking, why do they get these? Who is Seth Rogen to make what are his credentials for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? Like, why can't you just get like a comic, like somebody who knows how to draw well, and like, do you think because you attach his name, I'm gonna watch it? Seth Rogen plays a character in movie films, which is pretty funny. The Interview with James Franco, hilarious. I watched The 40-Year-Old Virgin again recently, and I laughed in that movie. He's a good character, but he plays that character, and now that he's getting so old, it's getting kind of lame. Why is he doing Mutant Mayhem? And then I found out in this reboot, they have there's we're all used to the gender swapping, the race swapping. Okay, whatever. If you want to make April O'Neil anything other than the white redhead, then that's fine. Go ahead. But then they're even making characters in some cases who aren't even human. Okay, they're not human. They're thought of as male. They're masculine. They're gender swapping it to being a female, which changes the whole character. I mean, you have to rewrite it in a way. So this is what I don't understand. Why don't they just create a different character instead? Because the thing is, I'm not watching this. I know those characters, and when I saw those characters, they were a certain way, and now they're not. And so I'm not down with it. But for the person who didn't even know, so the person who watches it who's younger and didn't know that this has even been changed, why not just create a new character? They didn't know the difference anyways. It's straight up laziness, folks. And it's not laziness, it's straight up making money. It's straight up synergy. It's like, we don't even have to create a new character. We're just going to turn them into... We're just going to gender swap. And now it's a whole new character without having to create a character, folks. It's pretty smart it's pretty cutthroat business smart, no doubt. Because you can do it. Why can't you... you can make... Why... the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are... perhaps one of the only franchises that hasn't. They haven't tried to do a spinoff with females to turn them. Why are they guys? Why are they all brothers? You're telling me they're 4 brothers? They couldn't have had a sister? What's going on here? And look, what's crazy about this is that I didn't even know, but in 1997 they made a Ninja Turtle TV series called The Next Mutation, in which they introduced a 5th female turtle. Her name was Venus de Milo. I missed that, folks. I don't know where I was. The series was canceled after 1 season. Lard, this guy right here, this guy who's one of the main co-creators, later said it was the only licensed turtle project he truly regrets. That's what happens when you stray away from your winning formula or the winning plan, what you got going, okay? You can't help with anything. That's what happened to Star Wars, folks. That's what happened to Star Wars too. Is that whenever you make you try to continue the canon, or you try to create some multiverse of some sort, you you can't help but dilute it, and that's what happened. It's you're taking a time, you're taking a masterpiece, you're taking something that was great in the moment, and then you are sending it out in mass production dilution, and it can't hold a candle to the originals. Just it's just not as good. Rarely is there the case. But I don't know, folks. If you know of a reboot sequel that's even better than the original, you want to argue your case, send me an email to Jamin, to me, but at Jamin's Daily, to Jamin's Daily at Gmail. That is Jamin's Daily at gmail.com. Go to Facebook. Go to YouTube. Subscribe. Like and share on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube. And until the next time, folks, we're going to
stay with us, folks.
Stay with is yet to come. There's Cameron. Where are you going? You're leaving again? You just got here. Now you're leaving again?
Yeah, I'm going to stay at my dad's.
Okay.
Ciao.
Ciao. And there you have it, folks. My 2 cents on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm letting you know where I stand when it comes to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They need to do a live action reboot with Jim Henson, like without CGI. They should try that route. But again, till the next time, stick with me, folks, because the best is it's yet to come.